Well, we've gotten into Parker's Crossroads RV park and gonna be getting everything set up here with the pop-up and go through on how to set up. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure everything is level. Got everything here. We're gonna go in and make sure, use a level, make sure everything is level from side to side first, and then we'll go front to back. So take your level and go around and make sure everything's level. All right, so we've gone around, we've gotten everything level. Now, do here, just level down on here, and you can see that it's in the center of the bubble here. Check that in multiple spots, make sure that it's level. So now we can disconnect and get us level from front to back with the tongue jack. All right, so now we got everything leveled out front to back. What we did to level it side to side is we put this block of wood underneath the wheel here, came up on it, and that leveled it side to side. To do front to back, we use the tongue jack to make it level front to back. So now we're going to go around. The main thing we're going to do is make sure that all of these latches are undone. All right, now that we've got all four of those completely open, so we know it's gonna, the next thing I like to do is go ahead and drop the awning so I don't have to deal with that. I'm trying to reach up once it's open. So now that that's dropped, so it raises up. On these, some of the newer models, you guys are really lucky. You have push buttons so you can go up and down with electricity. Me, I'm not so lucky with the older unit. This is a 1986 Jayco that we've completely redone, so we get to do it old-fashioned power way. All right, now that we got this not too tight, but we know that's about where it's supposed to be. And we'll pop out there a little bit. We'll secure that here in a minute. Whenever I pull the bunk ends out, the main thing you want to do is not put the stabilizers down until it's fully set up. A lot of people put those down beforehand. They try to use them for leveling. They're not levelers, they're stabilizers. And the Jayco manual says to make sure everything else is out and fully set up before they go down. That way you don't, catch anything in the winch system. You can grab a hold of the bunk ends here, pull them out. Take extra care here, make sure you're not snagging anything on canvas. The new canvas we got. Pull the canvas out. On these, they've got extra protectors in here. You want to make sure that they're down to cover so you don't rip anything. All right, and from that we'll get the awning set up and go inside. All right, now we got the awning set up, we got everything around. We're gonna go around and we're gonna set the stabilizers. Now, what I use for the front on these scissor jacks is I do keep a cordless drill. And you just want to put a little bit of tension on it just to make sure it's not wobbling. All you're doing with these is stabilizing this so it doesn't flip over when you're laying down or on these ends. Again, they are not for leveling. And the back on this unit has fold down stabilizers. They fold down. And again, these are old. So get them loose a little bit there. And then put in the, you have to use a pole with this. Put them into the locking position. So now we have all of those stabilized. We'll go around, get all of these Velcro down over, and we'll come back. All right. And get the electricity set up, the water set up, get some air conditioner going. Now, this unit has just a standard plug. It will plug in to most, but I do like to use it with a 30 amp adapter and plug it into the 30 amp system. One, it just gives a little extra power there from the box. Well, not really extra power, but just I think it's more support for the unit. And two, I like to have the regular plugs. And I do like to circle it around to make sure if it gets tripped on or something that it's not going to cause any problems or rip out. So we want to make sure all the plug outlets, breakers, excuse me, are off before we plug in, and then we'll plug in and then we'll flip on that 30 amp breaker so we'll have power on the inside. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our water set up. Like I've said on some of my other blogs and videos, is water pressure fluctuates in these things. You don't want to have the water pressure so high that it blows out your lines. This one, they did tell us it's 100 pounds of pressure. That is a lot of pressure coming in. So you definitely need a water pressure regulator. Got these on our website. I'm going to put the link down below for them. They're really cheap and it'll save you a ton. Also, the other thing that we like using, I'll also have the link down below on, is these Camco or the Taste Pure water filters. Let's shake that out a little bit from previous use, and we'll get that put on. We'll plug it in over here. Everything's situated there. And we're going to come here and go ahead and get this back there. Turn it on here just a minute, flush it out. I'll let that run for a second, flush anything out in the water filter before I connect it to the hose. And I think we should be able to use the shorter hose here on this one. And make sure there's no kinks and walk it out. Take it over and plug it in here to the water inlet. A lot of your campers will say this is a city water inlet. The one here is for to fill the freshwater tank on board. If you were boondocking or something like that. Make sure that's good and secure so you're not dripping water out. Alright. And the next thing we'll do is I've got to set up some adapters here to do the discharge. Did not bring our tank because we do have sewer here, so we'll run a sewer line back in just a moment. For now, we'll go in and get things set up inside. All right, inside now, the next thing, we want to go ahead and get these bunk ends secured. Most of your units are going to have shepherd's hooks here. Take this and this crossbar, you'll have a connector there to stick it in. Just push that back up. Put it in the connection there. Same thing on the other side. Again, we're still working on getting this all cleared out and set up, and we'll have that. The next thing we're going to do is get the door in place. So to do that, these are secured up here while you're in transit. There. And just kind of hold it, same thing up here. You need to turn to let it drop. I'll bring that door down. And with this, you have to raise it up a little bit. It'll move side to side a little. Get it around your canvas. Again, you want to be careful not to tear your canvas. And then you'll kind of peek through and you'll see that it has notches that the door can sit down in on the frame there. And then you'll get your canvas in place. Most of them on the doors will push in here on the side. It's got a piece that'll feed into that channel. And then you'll flip over the bracket here. And then you're going to do the same thing for the other side. You do want to reach outside and make sure your door's unlocked first, so you don't lock yourself in. I've done that. That's kind of why I made kids, right? So I could yell at them to let me out. Fortunately, they did. All right, now that the door is in place, we'll get the rest of everything set up, get the reflected, put in the windows here. Something you definitely want to have to keep things cooler in here. We're about to go through some more here shortly. We're going to finish up here on the inside. Sorry, it's like insanely hot in West Tennessee right now, and the humidity is through the roof. I'm really protesting. I want cooler weather. I hate the heat. So we're going to go ahead and flip over the sink here. This one folds over, so just fold it back over. It's the sink and the stove. And just fold that back over into place. Something that I've done is I've replaced my faucet here with a foldable faucet. It turns 360 degrees around, folds up and down into the sink. Really makes it easier to fold things up and close up. I will have a link to this down in the description. And if you got any questions. I also built this box here because we've got this dead space here on the counter. Things kept piling up, so I built a 3-compartment box here. We can put stuff in the transport that we'll pull out when we're in camp. Bags of clothes or whatever can go in it, and it also fits a couple of little cubicle bins as well. Get all our cushions here in place. No judgment on the microwave. I have a preteen that likes popcorn. And we'll show you how I deal with that going not off the system so it doesn't trip any breakers right now. So with that set up, we'll go outside. And we want to go ahead and get our support poles in place. You have support poles in the front and back. You should have 2 for each. All right, and something else that I like to do is not something that comes with it, but just because my unit is 35 years old, even though I have renovated so much of it, I do like to have these slide out supports. I just put a little piece of 2x4 in between them here and taped it on so it's level, and I put it kind of center here. And you just give it a couple of little turns there. just to make sure everything is nice and snug and secure. Just gives it an extra support in 3 spots. Now with the back, instead of these going at an angle, these on this unit go straight out over the bumper. And it's really hot back here behind this air conditioner. So the next thing we're going to do here on both ends is we have these bungees that come around on the outside. I'm going to hook those under. I'm going to be cautious with it, make sure that you're not ripping anything. As you go along, I'll get a couple started on each end, and then I'll work around the middle, get the front side done, and we'll go back in. Alright, so we got everything set up here on the pop-up. I tried to go through as step by step and as slow as possible as I could on things. Generally setup goes quite a bit quicker there. Most pop-ups are going to be fairly similar to the way that this is set up. There will be some slight differences depending on your make or model. Again, keeping in mind this is a very old unit. Some of your newer units, things are going to be a little bit different, but the main concept is there and it's the same. Couple of things to note is remember your stabilizers. Those are stabilizers and they are not leveling jacks unless your manufacturer says that they can be used for leveling. It's something that you do want to check into because you don't want to end up bending your frame or causing damage. There are very few of the manufacturers that say they can be used for leveling. You want to make sure that your unit is level before you start setting anything up. That is going to keep some of the pressure off of your lift system going up and down, making sure you don't kink or bind anything. Guys, give us a like, a thumbs up if this video helps you out any. It really helps our channel out. Be sure to subscribe. We've got some great stuff coming up. You're not going to want to miss the next installment we have coming out on some camping hacks and things that will make your life a lot easier. Until next time.